Let me get myself together. Let me get myself together. Let's just get into it. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my next location. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I recently got hired on as a flight attendant by a major US airline company, and I am currently in flight attendant training. And my training is in Atlanta, yes, Atlanta, Georgia, and it's 6 weeks long. Very, very long. I'm just lying, guys. It really doesn't feel that long. But yes, if you're new to the channel, this is me. I'm a new flight attendant who is here to share her journey with you all. My goal essentially is to give you guys like the basic information from start to finish. I have been sharing my experience right from the beginning, from how I went through the application process, and then getting to the point where I had to wait for a training day assignment, getting ready for training, selecting my base. So you all are getting all the information as it happens to me in real time. And although I'm not able to give like specifics among other things, I feel like the information I'm still giving is good enough whereby when you do go through the experience at every stage, you will know that I said nothing, but I gave you a lot. If you know, let me know in the comment section below. But that being said, today's video is actually me providing a recap for week 4. So like I said in the beginning, I have been in training. I am at training, and it's supposed to last for 6 weeks, and I just officially completed my week 4. So every week we do have assessments and stuff like that. Although I have officially completed week 4, I have not been tested on the content on week 4 yet. So technically I'm not done, but technically I'm done. But I digress, because that's not the point. The point is, how was week 4? And I know that's what you want to know. Week 4, if you do attend the training for the airline company that I am currently training with, currently based on the schedule and planning and everything, week 4 was the start of aircraft weeks, right? We do take 2 weeks out of the 4 weeks to study all the individual aircrafts that we have in our fleet, and we have, I believe, 8 different types, right? Yes, 8, not 8 different types. 8 different types, because each type ultimately has different versions. So one type can have 2 or 3 versions, and we can have all those 3 different versions. So it's actually more than 8, but I'm just going to make it easy so we can all focus here, okay? Because it is a lot of information. And if you've been a flight attendant, if you are a flight attendant, you know how convoluted the process is. Everything about the industry is just convoluted. Whether it's aircrafts, your pay, your schedule. Don't get me started. Yes, so we started aircrafts this week. We did narrow body aircrafts. If you're a flight attendant, you know what that implies. But if you're not, and you are just a regular customer or somebody who just loves my personality and you're here to support me, I appreciate you, by the way. But yes, narrow body aircrafts are simply aircrafts that just have 1 aisle. And then the wide bodies will be the ones with 2 aisles. You know how when you're going international and there's seating here, there's an aisle here, there's seating in the middle, and there's an aisle and then seating next to the window? That's a wide body. Narrow body is just seats here, and an aisle. That's it. Simple, layman's terms. We all got it. Now we can move on. I'm sorry, guys. I am just on a different energy right now because it's been an interesting week. So how has week 4 been? So far, quick recap. Week 1, 2, 3 has been great. If you've watched week 1's video, if you've watched week 2's video, if you've watched week 3's video, you would know that those 3 weeks were quite intense, especially week 1. Week 1 was intense for different reasons, because I just got here. I uprooted my entire life to come to a different state, and we had very long days with lots of content that honestly was just content overload. And I do understand the concept of the training module as a whole, because the model of the training is supposed to set us up so that when we do find ourselves in the flight attendant role, we're able to appreciate or navigate the unexpected circumstances or unexpected situations or the ups and the downs, because training set us up for it. First of all, we're living in a hotel, which is a major part of the job, and then you're living with somebody you don't know, so you're going to be working with people you don't know, so it's a whole lot. But I understand the idea behind the concept. However, as an individual, as a person, I have the right to complain. I have the right to give feedback, so I will give feedback, but I do get it and I understand what it's meant to do, and it is working because I am adapted and I have adapted, so it's working. But yes, week two was difficult also for the fact that it was meant to show us or give us a peek into the real day-to-day life activity of a flight attendant in terms of what you do when you go, like when you clock in, what happens from start to finish. So it was complex for me because I've never been a flight attendant, so the whole process, the whole concept was very different. So it's not that it was difficult, it was just a lot of information for me to understand, to receive, process, and understand. So it was a lot that way. But if you've been a flight attendant before, I'm sure you would be fine. It's just that maybe certain things might be different and you have to unlearn to relearn other stuff. So that might be the difficulty you might experience if you've been a flight attendant before. But if you're new, it's completely new. You can receive the information, you can understand it, but there's no context to it for you. Yes, I think that's the best way to put it. And then week three was emergency, and I think evacuation. It was also intense for its own reason, and I think I did share this in week three's video. It was a lot, it was intense, it required mental and physical work. So you had to be ready. If you had to do breath exercises just to get your breathing under control, you had to. But imagine yourself evacuating a building, getting people from one spot to the other under stressful situation in an emergency. That was what it was, dealing with stressful medical situations. So it's kind of intense, you know, and then you go through you're watching stuff, you're giving content that potentially can impact you mentally, and then you're learning stuff on how to react during moments like that. So it was kind of intense psychologically, mentally, and emotionally as well. But for me, I didn't really mind. My main focus was just being successful. Like I said, for me, I've never been a flight attendant. I've never been in the aviation industry. I've never read about it. I've never done anything with the industry. So it's definitely new information for me. So it was kind of tight a little bit, slightly. But it was intense and I was exhausted by the end of week one. So I was very grateful that we did get 2 days off, which was Saturday and Sunday off at the end of week three. It was great, but assessments were great. Assessments have been good so far. I did my first evacuation drill assessment, and that was great. I did my first EMB assessment as well, and that was awesome as well. My team was amazing. But yeah, moving on. So week four, like I said, we did start learning about aircrafts, and it is a lot. It is a lot. So learning about aircrafts, it's more, we weren't necessarily learning about the mechanics of it. So it's more so like your role on the plane, where you sit, like the jump seat position, what happens on the aircraft, the type of aircrafts you have, and the features that the aircrafts have, and how to arm and disarm your doors and stuff like that, how to open them and all that. So it's kind of cool. I kind of enjoyed the fact that we had the practical aspect of it, where we were actually touching doors and operating doors. So that was awesome, but it's still a lot of content because there's the written portion, the word, the verbal communication aspect, and then there's the physical, where you're actually touching things and doing movements that show that you know how to handle this door. And mind you, as flight attendants, unlike pilots, flight attendants are required, at least with my airline company, because we have 8 different types of aircrafts in our fleet, we are required to learn and know how to operate 8 different doors. Like the way a pilot will go train and learn how to fly one plane, and that's all they fly, we are trained on 8 different aircrafts because we will be operating 8 different aircrafts. So yeah, that's it. And that is it. And each aircraft has its own nicks and cranks. Like certain things are similar, some are different. But for me, if you ask me, let's get close. If you ask me, I will say the airline industry needs to standardize processes, script. Like they need to standardize the fleet. So if we are all doing a Boeing 757 and that's what we're doing, let's do it the same. If Airbus wants to do the same thing, they should do. Even if the pictures or the images or whatever, the aircraft itself won't be the same, the verbiage in terms of operation, the verbiage, like when you're giving visual checks, like if you're telling somebody that this door is armed, the things that I have to tell you for you to know that the door is armed should be the same. It should be standardized because you guys are in the same industry. And I get that everybody wants to do their own thing, but for some of us who have to manage all these airlines or all these aircrafts, we would appreciate this is a suggestive feedback that to Boeing and Airbus, we would appreciate it if you guys can standardize these things. It would be great, but I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, if we can standardize it, that'll be great. That'll make everything very easy. Everyone's life will be much easier. But I digress once again. But yes, week 4 we did aircrafts. This week I think I did 1 aircraft each day, and we had 5 days, so 5 different aircraft. So next week I'll be doing 3. So this week was narrow body. Next week would be the wide body, which are usually or typically flown internationally. But it was okay. It was a good week. It was stressful. It was a lot. We had long days, and trust me, you will get to the point where your days are so long that you cannot even study the content you studied in class that night because you're so tired. And for me, I got the earlier class. So my class starts at 6 a.m. in the morning, and the bus pickup starts at 5:15. But obviously you want to get there early, relax, settle in, feel comfortable, get coffee, water, and just get yourself ready, you know? So I'm typically downstairs for the hotel, for the company shuttle at 5 o'clock, 5:05, and that's what happens. But yes, I have to get up literally at 4 just to make it, you know? So it is a lot. So if I go to class and my class ends at 5 or, 5 o'clock, that's a long day. That's well over 12 hours of being awake because I woke up at 4. So it's a long day. They're long days and it might be difficult to study after class. But I will say in week 4 that do prioritize your wellness, because think about it. If you overwork yourself, if you overextend yourself, you will crash. And you might not crash in week 1, you might not crash in week 2, you might not crash in week 3, you might not crash in week 4, you might barely make it in week 5. But if you end up crashing in week 6 when you have your final assessments for everything, that might not be good. That might not be good for you. So just keep that in mind. I know there are days where I come back from class and then I really want to go over the content for that day because that's when it's gonna stick, because I'm like reviewing it the 3rd time, because I personally would do the e-learning and then I would do the classroom learning, then I come back and review the e-learning so everything can get solidified. I might not memorize everything, but it's in here subconsciously. And eventually when it's getting to assessments and I want to go back and review, things will seem more familiar. I would have an idea of what I'm reading and what I'm reviewing. So, but then there are days when you can't get that 3-point study triangle or sequence or whatever, you know, but I also recognize the fact that if my body is not willing, I shouldn't force myself, because then it's not worth it, because I'm already exhausted. I'm going to stress myself to study and go beyond my bedtime. So then I end up going to class the next day tired. So I'd rather, and then it becomes like a domino effect. So if I'm tired today, I would rather want to rest today. So I wake up bright, early, strong, fit, ready to go the next day, so I can have a good experience that day, so I can keep the good experience going. I can always go back to the content that I did not get to review that day. But if I force to do that, it's going to have a negative domino effect on all the other stuff. Then I'm going to be tired every single day to the very end until I get a full day off. Get the drift? So I will say prioritize your wellness for sure. I've been here for 4 weeks. This is the end of week 4. Next week is week 5. I have 2 assessments in week 5, 3 actually. I have my door proficiency evaluation where I will get tested officially on how to operate the doors that we have on all the 8 aircrafts. So essentially, I will be tested on 8 different doors. Yeah. So, and as part of Friday, I did do my first flight training or training flight today. They call operations experience or something like that, where you actually go on a trip. I did a flight. We worked a flight from Atlanta to a location, and then we did it right away. Like there was like a 30-minute wait time or something, and then we did a return trip back. I was not part of the crew, but I was on my first flight as an employee or as a flight attendant. Honestly, I would say once you get to that point, everything comes together. You might not know everything like from start to finish or like every single step or point, but it comes to you. I did my first exit seat row briefing as well, and it was so natural. I did a briefing, individual safety briefing as well, and it was really good. I made my PA announcements, and your girl sounded good because you hear me all the time and you know I sounded good. So don't lie, don't lie. It felt really good. It felt so good. I felt like I was so comfortable. I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Obviously, you have hundreds of people sitting down and staring at you, looking into your soul. But it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. As I've always said in my channel, you have to have an open mind. Be ready, you know? You can meet somebody that's rude, somebody that's not friendly, but you just have to rise above the chaos, you know? Just rise above it. Rise above all the nonsense. But it was a good experience. I did help out in first class a little bit. Pretty chill, pretty easy, pretty simple. And then also I helped out in the back as well, in the main cabin. So it was a good experience. Being able to do this during training is a way for me at least to get my mind straight. Maybe I wanted this, but then I might actually end up doing it like I did today and then might not like it, you know? So just also give yourself grace, because sometimes you might appreciate something from the outside, but once you're in the inside, the other seat, you might not enjoy it. And if you go for this trip and you don't enjoy the experience and you feel that this is not good for you, you can move on. You don't have to continue, because at least you know that you tried. You went all the way to the very end. Well, almost the end, but then you went to the part where you actually did the job. You had an experience of it, and it just wasn't meant for you, because trust me, that motion sickness on that plane is crazy. Honestly, where you sit in the plane is a big factor, so keep that in mind. But it was a lot. So if you do go and you figure out that this is not for you, you can check out. But overall, my battery's about to die. I really want to end this video because I'm tired. I've been awake since 3 a.m. because my flight was at 6. And I need to check out. But before, it has been great. It's always good chatting with you guys. Once again, if you're new to this channel or you just found my video, please subscribe to my channel. Support your girl. I'm trying to hit 1K. If you like the content, you're watching the video, support me, like the video, leave a comment in the comment section below. Week 4 has been great. I do have assessments coming in week 5, so week 5 is going to be hot. But as usual, we're getting what? 100%, right? That's the goal. That is a goal, and we're gonna get that. So wish me success as I wish you success. If you do have an interview coming up, good luck, all the best. Be yourself, be confident, trust in yourself, because you know what? You got this, okay? I'm checking out. Once again, I will see you guys in week 5. Keep an eye out for that video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.